Have you got that?
5th of August, Rabbi Levitt, Pele Yoetz.
What did you say?
Yeah, I'm looking.
All right. Well, maybe the rabbi can send you a link. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Then all right. Rabbi Levitt,
Yeah.
you send him a link, please.
Okay. I'm gonna defer to Lou. He's the expert link sender.
Who am I sending it to?
Alan.
Alan?
Okay, no problem.
All right, Alan. Lou is sending you a link, so look out for it. Okay.
Okay.
See you soon. Right. Bye.
Okay, I actually found a Sefer Hasidim in my on the bookshelf here. And I don't remember what did we want to look up to see if there was a source, what source, because I see that my Sefer lists a lot of sources. We had different things that the Pele had said here.
Yeah, you. What were we up to? 37, page 37.
Yeah. 37?
37 or not? Have I got the wrong bookmark?
Okay, I sent the email.
Thank you.
Okay. Shkoyach. So we
Okay, now you're trying to remember what it was that we were asking about?
yeah, you remember what we wanted to know about a mirror?
What page were we on?
We were trying to remember different mitzvahs that he mentioned that we wanted to know where to look in the original source.
Right. What was it? We have this. Yeah, it is prohibited to stare in a mirror, even occasionally, and in jest. This is on page 39 at the bottom.
Right. Okay. So
and then we had it was also not it was also not permitted to make the bride and the groom happy or to celebrate on Purim. And we were wondering if that was applied to staring in a mirror in order to make yourself look funny or something like that. Because it can't be stam. It's not permitted to make a bride and a groom happy. We know that's a mitzvah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is negative mitzvahs from the Torah which depend upon hands. Okay, negative mitzvahs mean the Torah. Let me just see. Do they have a table of contents? Yes, they do. Mitzvahs, let's see. Negative mitzvahs mean a Torah. Mitzvahs lo say mean ha-Torah. Mitzvahs lo say mean a Torah. Hataluyos biodayim efshalakayim kol yom. It's those say Minotaur. Trillium be a dime. Actually, Shoma Koyom. That's what it. That's there. It is. Eric Huff test. Kuf Huff base. Kuf base. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Um. Oh, there's a lot. Jolim Bash Gerasim Las Isha. Maka Aviv, Maka Yisrael, Shor Set, Lo Sachrish Bashor. Uh-huh. Now, oh, okay, that's already towards the end. Shaloi Saresh. If it's in the same order. It looks like it's in the same order. Looks like he just copied it out. What's Yad Militain Staka? Shalo Yikpots Yad Militain Staka. Just don't harden your hand from giving tzedakah. That's close to where we are looking, I believe. Maybe not. Shalo Lavod Bebachor. Don't work a firstborn animal. Shalo Ktov Ish Besrita. Sorrow. Shouldn't write on. Don't make tattoos. Don't cut oneself on a mess. Isn't that close to where we got to? Close to Simu Korcha Bene Nechem.
I have wearing women's clothing, women's jewelry.
Min Nezik. Shalom. Yitame Kohen
And
Hedja.
removing white hairs
Shalik
from
Kanesh
among the
Ted.
black ones, or dyeing them.
Shaka B'mida O B'mishkal. Oh, that's where it is with the weights. The weights. These are Clyam. Well, don't cut off the payos. I would say should be over here. Hamalaket. Oh, Hamalaket saros levanos mitoch hashchoros merosho o mizkano. Mishilaket saara achas loike b'nei she'oda adi isha v'kein imtzova saroi shachor. Oh, he's going into the matter of with the hairs.
Okay, that's right before our place. That's probably where we want to be.
Oh, ubeshulchan aruch the Sefer Yordeya Simen Kuf Nun Vav Aser Leish Lehistakel B'Mare brings a source for the. Oh, here's Alan. I wasn't looking. Hope he wasn't waiting too long. Okay, Alan's coming in. Okay. So,
Hello,
Amen.
Alan.
good morning, Alan.
Good morning, Alan. Welcome.
Okay, Baruch Hashem. Okay, so Baruch Hashem, we have a source over here. So yeah, let's take a look over here. This is in a standard volume of Shulchan Aruch, the Chelik of Yordea. I don't know if anybody has that, but
Don't.
so Baruch Hashem, I have a set, so I'll go get that right now.
Thank you,
Kuf Nun
Rabbi.
Vav. Okay. Okay, so it says over here in the Shulchan Aruch, Asur le'ish lehistakel b'mare mishum lo yilbash gever. Translation: it's usher for a man to look intently. Listakel is a language of not just a brief look, but a an intent look, b'mara, in a mirror, mishum, because of the Torah prohibition of lo yilbash gever. The full pasuk is something to the effect of lo yilbash gever, that a man should not wear the clothing of a woman, women's clothing.
So in other words, a man should not stare into a mirror, but a woman can stare into a mirror?
Yeah, because that's her nature, I guess. Doesn't say anything about a woman not being allowed.
That makes a lot more sense.
And now there's exceptions over here. Elaim Kane, unless mishum refuah, except in a case of healing. Kigon shechoshesh be'enov, o shemesaper atzmo. Oh, there's loose case. Unless he is looking into the mirror for purposes of refuah, some issue of healing.
Right.
Kigon, for example, such as Hoshesh be'enov. He has some type of a malady. He's concerned that he has some type of a malady in his eye, for example. It's just an example. Oh, or alternatively, Shemesaper atzmo, or he's giving himself a haircut. He's cutting some of the hairs on his I guess on his beard, on his face, whatever. That would also be an exception.
Oh, yeah, that's what I brought up the other day.
Yeah. Oh, im saper mina ovid kochavim, beno leveno, or if he's taking a haircut from a non-Jew, and there's nobody else there. Ukadei liros adam chashuv, v'yesel liros b'mara. What's the svara exactly? What does it help with the mirror? Let me see somebody. Okay, that wasn't really our issue anyway. But
okay. So what about the bride and the groom?
oh, now there's that was what the Shulchan Aruch said. Now we have the comment of the Ramah. The Ramah is he's giving us the if there's any other halachas or minhagim of Anshe Ashkenaz.
Right.
Ramah brings v'yesh omrin. There's those that hold. Hada asa liros b'mara hainu dafka b'makom she'ein derech liros b'mara. Rak noshim v'ispe mishum lo yilbash gever. There are those who maintain, in other words, poskim, rabbanim, that maintain that the Shulchan Aruch says which is usher for a man to look in the mirror is only in a locale where it's not the way of anyone to look in a mirror except for women. And therefore, as a result of that, we could understand why that would be a violation of akin to wearing a women's clothing, because only women do that. Right? Aval. However, b'makom shederech ha'anoshim liros, in a locale where it is also the practice of men to also look in the mirror. Gamken b'mara mutar. Then it's permissible to look in the mirror. And he quotes the Rabbeinu Nisim on that. That's one of the Rishonim. And even in a place where the custom of the place is to be stringent, in other words, that men do not look in the mirror. Im osel refuah shemeir einav or osel hasir haksamim mipanav or notzos mirosho. If he's got some particular reason why he needs to look in the mirror, he's trying to remove something from, remove a feather from his head or something of that sort. Shari, then it's permissible. Became nogu, and that is the custom. Okay, so that's a little, that's just the Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah without going into the Taz or the Shach or any of the other commentators over there. So okay, there you have it. So the oh, and what about, let's see if he says something further about the oh. Oh, dude. Oh, the page moved to a different page, and now I lost where the page is, where we were looking. Okay. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, that's what it says over here. Because of Harav Rabbeinu Eliezer Mimitz, Afilu Arai v'derech skok asur. Shorelo chilek akosov ben keval arai. Fisher isish b'nei adam shalobshim malbushe isha arai ve'isha malbushe isha arai v'smochos shel chosen v'kala yesavti kain v'yotzreinu yitain Yirasoy al panenu, amen sela, ad kan leshono, sefer Yereim. Okay, so the sefer Haredim, that's this a sefer that I'm reading from right now, that the Pele Yoetz is basing his comments on. He's taking from an earlier sefer than that, called the Sefer Yereim of Rabbi Eliezer Mimitz, one of the early poskei Ashkenaz, and this is what he has to say about the connection that we were wondering about over here, that well, you'll just I'm just going to read it again and translate it, and you'll see that'll be this will answer what we have in our Pele Yoetz. Okay. Okay. So after having brought this Shulchan Aruch about looking in the mirror, Kosav Rav Reinu Eliezer Mitz. Rabbi Eliezer writes, "Afilu arai, even on a just here and there type of a basis, it would be forbidden. V'derech skok, and in a way of just like a joke, that would even also be usher. Sharei lo chilek akosov ben kevel arai. The pasuk in saying that a man may not wear women's clothing, a woman may not also wear a man's clothing. Both ways is a Torah prohibition. And as we saw over here, the looking in the mirror is an offshoot, a branch of that type of activity, where it like the Ramah said, only in a place where men do not do that, but in a place where men also look in the mirror, so then it's not regarded as a women's type of a thing. So then it would be permissible. But he's writing over here, Rebbe Eliezer Mitz, on the basis that in that locale that it's totally only a woman's activity. And since I have seen b'nei adam, people halovshim malbushe isha arai, I have seen people go about wearing women's clothing on in a temporary and just a happenstance basis, not on a day by day fixed basis. The isha mabushe ish, and also the women are also doing this. Where do they do it? Bismachot shel chasen bakala. It's part of simchas chasen bakala, he says. This is what people have done. They go in order to be sameach chasen bakala, to create a atmosphere of simcha at a wedding. They violate a Torah prohibition of men wearing women's clothing and women wearing men's clothing. And so since I have seen with my own eyes this practice, this is why I have written this over here, that it's not allowed to be done for a man to wear a woman's clothing, or a woman to wear a man's clothing, even temporarily, even for a small amount of time, even just here and there at in certain times. Even that is forbidden. Yotzreinu yitain yirosoi al penenu. Amen Selah.
So in other words, I'm amending my Pele Yoetz to say it was also not permitted to make the bride and groom happy or to celebrate Purim by wearing women's clothing.
Right. And that's also brought in halacha, as a matter of fact, with women's in Hilchos Purim, that there are even poskim that have gone down on record for that.
So I wanted to know when we're done.
Okay.
We'll get up.
So those yeah.
Well, that really clarifies it. So I don't know if it's the translator or the Pele Yoetz, but this was very misleading, I think.
Yeah, it's very clear from the Sefer Haredi. Okay, so that's what he ends off with. Yotzreinu yitain yerosu al penenu. Our Creator should place his fear and awe upon our faces. Amen Selah. Adkan l'shonenu the Sefer Yereim. I have given up until there. I have quoted word for word the words of the Sefer Yereim of Rabbi Eliezer Mimitz. Okay. Yeah, so that's the thing. Here, if it looks to be practically every single thing that's being said over here tells you where it is that it says what he's saying over here. Because that is the ultimate Jewish question in learning. Wo steht? Where is it written?
Right. We got to go to the source and clarify.
And Rev Brevda Zatzal once told us, probably told you this story once before, but I'll tell it to you again so you remember it, and so that I remember it. That he once had a some type of a distant relative, he said, who was not I think it was frum, but not one of the biggest fans of halacha or the views of the rabbonim, and he was explaining to her, you always have to know wo steht das. So she asked him, so where does it say that you have to know wo steht das? Where is that written? And Rev Brevda we didn't back down. He said, Otaze, now you're getting it. Now you got it. Now you got it. You're catching on. Okay. So that's that.
So it seems to me that I have seen the men wearing women's clothing on Purim.
Right.
Yes.
So that's totally forbidden.
That's totally forbidden. Interesting. And also,
As
at
a matter of fact,
sometimes a man will pretend that he's the bride, and he'll go sit on the lap of the chassan. So that's also prohibited.
oh, he's wearing a dress.
No, but he's wearing a tichel or a wig that looks like a woman's hair.
Right. Okay, that sounds also the only people that wear a tichel are women. So even though he's not wearing the full regalia, but he is wearing a piece of woman's clothing, and he's not allowed to do that, even temporarily, and even for purposes of Simchas Chassan B'Kala, at least according to Rabbi Eliezer Mimitz.
Interesting.
I remember that Rav Barkley in the Sefer Guidelines he brings this matter of people wearing other gender clothing to make simcha on Purim, and I remember in the Sefer he said that it was forbidden. I could look up the source if you want to know.
No, that's okay. It's pretty clear, I think.
Yeah. In other words, we can't say that when we get to the situation, if chas v'sholem, Rahman al-Islam, we would get to the situation where it was common practice for a man to wear women's clothing and a common practice for women to wear man's clothing, that we got no Torah prohibition anymore because everybody does it. I would imagine that would be we couldn't say that. The Ramah is prepared to say it in regard to looking in a mirror, but I think that's self-understood that is that's not the same type of severity as a man wearing his women's clothing and a woman wearing man's clothing.
Right.
Yeah, I think Rashi in Chumash on that pasuk, lo yilbash, lo yilbash ish, gives a citation over here. I think Rashi over there brings a Chazal that Chazal spoke about that, and they said that what it leads to is that the man will go circulate amongst the women, because he looks, so to speak, like a woman, because he's wearing women's clothing. So then you have the mixing between men and women, and there's no separation between men and women as is properly supposed to be. One of the things that Chazal said about it. Just one insight into the mitzvah. Okay.
I wonder about the custom of having kiddush in a shul where everybody goes to the area where their food is served, and there's a lot of intermixing and jostling as the people go back and forth to get the food from the table. It would seem to me that should not be permitted.
Yeah.
We have the situation in buses, where there was a big to-do about it a few years ago.
Right, where they said the women had to be in the back, which was silly, because in order to get to the back, they have to walk past all the men. They should have put the men in the back.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's as problematic as the example I'm bringing up, because you can walk through the bus without bumping into anybody. But when you see those tables, it's very crowded. People are are all standing around, chit-chatting and eating, and some people are trying to get food, and
Well, they haven't eaten for a long time.
It's virtually impossible to not bump into people.
Yeah.
Some shuls segregate.
That would make sense to me. You should have like a women's table and a men's table.
Yeah.
I know, like at bar mitzvahs, they quite often do that. There's the food is completely separate.
Right. There's separate sections for men and women, and they serve men a certain amount of food, and most of the desserts and all the goodies go to the women, as should be.
We like our women fat, Roy. Oh boy.
Well, they're the ones that make it, so you can't take it away from them. If you take it away from them, they won't make it. Then you won't get anything.
Also, they care what it looks like. The men don't care. Just slop it in front of them. But the women, they has to be presented properly.
Doesn't stay presented properly very long.
For the women,
Yeah,
yes,
so
it does.
For the men.
I think it does.
Anyway, shall we continue?
Okay, so where were we holding?
I think we're on the top of page 40. It is prohibited for a man to shave the hair of his armpits.
Okay. Okay, so who you want to continue?
Or his pubic hair. Some authorities say it is a Torah prohibition. Others say it is a rabbinic prohibition. It is prohibited for a Jew to shave even in a locale where Gentile men do shave these parts of the body. That locale is like the city, or locale is the part of the body you're shaving?
The city.
Okay, so you're in a city where Gentile men shave the underarms, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still prohibited for a Jew to do so. Is that what it means?
You're right.
It is prohibited to hit another Jew, whether adult or child, man or woman, even one's own wife. From the time one raises his hand to hit someone, he is called a wicked person and is disqualified from giving testimony. It is only permissible to hit if done in a disciplinary or rebuking fashion. For example, a father to a son or a teacher to a student. It is prohibited to oppress another person. It is prohibited for someone whose fear is upon the face of others, or whose request others are embarrassed to violate, to command others to do something great or small, unless it is in their favor and for their benefit. It is prohibited to slaughter a mother and her calf in the same day. It is prohibited to work with two different species of animals together. It is even prohibited if they are doing any work.
If they're not doing.
If they're not doing any work. For example, a person is pulling the reins of a horse, and behind the horse is a mule whose reins are tied to the saddle of the horse. There are those who prohibit this even if the reins of the mule are not tied. For example, a person is riding on a horse and he's holding the leash of a dog that is running next to him. They consider this kilayim, prohibited mixture of the species. It is prohibited to direct two different species of animals who are in a shared yoke, even with one's voice. Therefore, it is prohibited to greet a Gentile who is plowing with two different species of animals, because sometimes the animals will hurry up due to his voice. It is prohibited to breed animals or birds with different species. It is prohibited to graft two different species of trees, even in the diaspora. It is even prohibited to ask a Gentile to graft two different species of tree for a Jew. It is prohibited to clench one's fist and not give charity according to one's ability. It is prohibited to add or detract from the mitzvos. It is prohibited to walk in the ways of the Gentiles, whether in terms of their dress, their customs, or their sorcery. Rather, the Jewish people must be distinct from them in all regards. It is prohibited to cut oneself as an expression of grief for someone who died. It is prohibited to divide into two groups. It's prohibited to divide into two groups. This means that there should not be two courts in one city, wherein one court conducts itself in one manner, while the other court conducts itself in a different manner, resulting in what appears, heaven forbid, to be two different Torahs. It is prohibited to diminish one's wife's food, clothing, and conjugal rights. It is prohibited to make a fence around one's it is prohibited not to make a fence around one's accessible rooftop. The general rule is that one must mitigate all potential danger. It is prohibited to raise an evil dog or to use a shaky ladder, etc. It is prohibited for a Kohen to defile himself by contact with a corpse, or to enter into a house where there is a corpse. There are authorities who rule that the graves of Gentiles also cause ritual defilement in a covered area, like the graves of Jews. It is prohibited for a Kohen to enter into a cemetery to bury his father, because when he returns, he will defile others. It is prohibited to commit fraud with measures or weights, even in regards to a Gentile. to sell less than the identified amount or to buy more than the specified amount. The punishment for false measures is very harsh. It is even prohibited to keep in one's house inaccurate measures with the intention of making a urine bowl for them. Rather, one is obligated to destroy any measures that were made fraudulently. So I have a question on this sentence that says, rather, the Jewish people must be distinct from them in all regards, talking about non-Jews and their customs. I'm troubled by the phrase "in all regards" because, for example, Jews wear suit and a tie, which is something that Gentiles do also. And if it's all regards, I would think the rule would be you can't do that.
Yeah, that's what the Hasidim say about us. Why do you wear a tie? Why do you wear a short coat? You're dressing like the goyim.
Oh, so there is that question.
That's what the Hasidim say to us. Yeah, they
Uh-huh.
say that they claim. I don't know the history. I'd never looked into it because it didn't concern me because that's what we do, and I never heard not to do it. But they claim that we always used to have long coats, all of us, not just Hasidim. And we, and somewhere along the line, we started to try to look more and more like the goyim. So that's what we did. They don't have a tie, and they don't have a short coat either.
Yeah, that's why I don't wear a tie.
So there you have it. Okay. But I have a story about there was a alter bacher in my yeshiva in America, and he was a very very earnest, very serious, very well-meaning person. He was a Baal Tshuva, and he saw the different rabbanim in the yeshiva wearing long coats, and other people on Shabbos. That some people have a custom to wear a long coat on Shabbos. So he decides that he's going this. He bought a long coat, and he went down to Friday night for the Lechol Dodi, wearing this long coat, and I don't know. I don't know what. For some reason, I think I was in the dorm room for some reason at that time. Maybe I already davened. I don't know. I don't know why I was there. Anyway, about 15 minutes after he went down, I see him coming back up, taking off the coat and putting on his regular Shabbos coat that he had before. And so we asked him what happened. He says, Rabbi Brog told me to take it off. Not for you. Not for a, so everybody has to do what it is that their rebbeim tell them to do. And so, we don't, unless we're, we don't care that the Hasidim tell us that. We wear what we wear. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're right.
So what do we say about the Pele Yoetz? We say he's incorrect when he says in all regards.
So well, I mean,
you could carry this to a great extreme. That Lahavdil, the Quakers, they don't use a lot of modern things. They're definitely very distinct.
I mean, it's hard to know what he means over here, really. basically, if you'll take a look, there, this is also a pasuk in the Torah, right? It's not the Pele Yoetz, it's the Torah. It's Chamisha Chumshe Torah. Hashem's Torah says so. Don't go in the ways of the goyim. Okay.
Right.
So you want to know, what does that mean? What's that referring to?
Right.
So Rashi over there says that we don't do the, for example, says Rashi, we don't. He's quoting the Gemara. He's quoting Chazal. We don't go to the theater like they do. We don't go to the Coliseum like they do. We don't go to the to the sports complex like they do. That's not part of our culture. So but today you'll see it in the next 3 weeks of vacation. You'll see all sorts of types of modes of entertainment or way of passing the time, so to speak, glatt kosher, to go to this Froome movie or that Froome movie or this Froome play, or because people like to be entertained, and
We're planning on going to the music
and,
museum. Is that a problem?
yeah, so it's I don't know if a museum is the same thing as a in other words, the main idea with this, I'll tell you what the main idea with it is, as I understand it, is that a Jew, particularly a man, and this might be the difference between men and women over here, whether men don't usually go to plays, the women go to the plays, right? The women go to the movies. The women go to only, of course, a Froome movie that only has women in it or whatever it is. But it's changing a little bit. Also, there's the Froome movies that men are also going to. But as I understand it, the real difference is that a non-Jew, he doesn't have a mitzvah of Talmud Torah. Right? A Jew has a mitzvah of Talmud Torah. And unless he needs to, unless he's sick, unless he is unable for something, unless he's making parnasa, unless he's, unless he has some legitimate need, which can also include that he needs to relax. He should not be spending his time going to the theater and going to the sports coliseum and going to this and going to that, because if he should be learning Torah. That's what he's created to do. So this is one of the ideas behind not going in the ways of the goyim, because the ways of the goyim is a way of which takes one away from Torah. But so it's a matter that every person has to to judge for himself. How much relaxation time does he need, and what does he do during his relaxation time? So if he goes to the one of these things, every so often in order to relax, because it's Bein Hazmanim, it's the vacation time, and he also wants to have a little bit of vacation. That's what he needs to do. He can't learn Torah 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, unless you're Reb Chaim Kanievsky. And even he went away. Even he went away to spots. but of course, that was basically, he went away and he took all of his svorim with him, and he was learning 24 hours a day also over there. But he did go away, So everybody has to do what it is that they need to do in order to be able to be functioning in a healthy way.
Lou,
Yes.
if you are going to the museum, you have to book in advance.
Yeah, we booked it already. We got our tickets. The
Oh,
music
right.
museum.
Yeah, we've been there. It's very interesting. You have a virtual tour of the temple.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's
Yeah.
like the rabbi says, it's a way to
Learning.
recharge my battery.
Yeah, but you're learning anyway. You're learning something. You can walk through the temple and see what the Levium were doing and everything like that.
Right.
I don't think you don't see any shechita, but you see where, but you don't actually see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Rabbi. Have a good Shabbos. Have an easy fast.
Amen. Okay, you too, Lou.
Thank you very much. We'll see you.
Koyach to everybody.
All right.
A good Shabbos and a good fast.
To all of us, and let's hope that even at this late age, we don't have to have a fast. We have a simcha.
Soll sein die Gule Schleimer. Ezrat
Amen.
Hashem.
Well, actually, tomorrow Shabbos is the actual Tisha B'Av. That's when the Mashiach is coming. Mitzvah Hashem.
Okay. I don't know if he can come on Shabbos. Gemara says he doesn't come on Shabbos because he can't go chutz l'tchum.
Oh, he doesn't come on Shabbos.
Doesn't come on Shabbos. No.
He's got a few hours though. We got a few hours.
That's why we have but Motzei Shabbos, right? Elio and Navi. Right, and that's why we sing all the songs of Elio and Navi. We've had a Shabbos, and we hope that in the merit of our keeping the Shabbos, then Elio will come and announce to us that Mashiach is coming. Bezrat Hashem, we won't have to keep Tisha B'Av.
Amen. Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Now,
Okay.
Alan.
Hey, bye.
Bye, Alan.